me.
Hi, this is Carol Gockel.
Carol, where are
Yes,
you?
I am right now in Germany visiting my family. I am 7 hours behind Singapore time. Yeah.
So we should be
So
saying good morning to you.
yes, it is super morning here in Singapore, or rather in Germany here 7 hours. Yeah, you know. So yeah, early morning. So as you can see, I have lights in the room. Yeah, it's pretty dim because it's winter, it's cold, and the sun will only rise at about past 9 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
Oh wow, wow. What's the temperature like right now over there?
Ooh, as of today, okay, it's 4 degrees Celsius today because it's rainy, so it's quite cold. It actually feels like two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I, I'm 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 not very good with winter. So usually, I would travel in autumn. But yeah, this year will be an exception. So we'll see
Yeah.
how I can cope with that.
Yeah. It will be
Right.
very, very interesting, I believe.
Huh?
I think it will
Very
be very,
interesting.
very interesting. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that will be happening in December. So, yeah, looking forward to that travel as well. And I think let's come back to our
Yes.
topic for today, right? We are going to
Ooh.
be talking about competency and skill set.
Yes.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
competency and
Competencies.
skill set.
Mhm.
And talking about competency, I think there are different stages, right?
Mhm.
Different stages of gaining that competency. Um, from what I know, I mean, we always talk about awareness, right? Being
Yeah.
aware, gaining the awareness, even as whether is it for your personal development or working on your business, we we need to be aware about our skill sets and our competency,
Mhm.
right?
That's
Yeah,
right.
so that we can be more efficient, right?
Yeah.
Because in any way, the definition of competency is the ability to do something successfully or efficiently, right?
Exactly.
And yes, and with that ability or the skill set that we learn,
Mhm.
okay. So there are of course different skill sets that we will learn for different purpose in running our business. For example, for example, computer skills, right? Being able to operate the technology, the software programs, and all that. Those are skill sets that we picked up, right? And in the area of language as well, right? Writing is one skill set. Yeah, some people are very good with writing, and with practice and experience, they gain the mastery in um, becoming very creative in the way they write. Right. So there are different skill sets that is required, and in the area of design, for example, I mean, we
Yes.
have Karen who is so. To me, I feel that she's having the unconscious competency in the area of design. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
And
when
she's amazing.
you throw her an idea, you tell her what's on your mind, what you are seeing, in your vision. Somehow she has that ability to translate that into a visual.
Mm.
And of course, I believe there are two different ways that you can achieve unconscious competency. One
Yeah.
way is, of course, through experience, right?
Mhm.
Through the experience and through practice, um, over and over again, acquiring that skill set and develop over the years. So through experience and through practice,
Yeah.
you can gain unconscious competency. But there's
Mm.
another group that I'm not too sure whether anyone talked about this before,
Mhm.
but that is in the area of not going through a proper training,
Mm.
but yet being able to function, to do and perform that skill set without training. So
Mm.
to me, that is an unconscious competency.
Mm.
Yeah. some people, for example, if you can relate to this, they're just able to draw a 3D dimension of a space
Mm-hmm.
without going through uh, technical training in drawing, technical
Mm.
drawing. Yeah. But they are
Right,
just
right,
able to
right.
just sketch it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're talking about, this innate, born with ability that's actually within the person, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Mm.
So and somehow they're just able to see it. Like for some you need to be trained. For some of us
Mm.
we need to be trained. Just now we're
Yeah.
talking about like drawing the 3D,
Mm-hmm.
three-dimensional object, for example. For some, they can just stretch it out.
Mm.
But for people like me, for example, I will need to be taught the technique.
Yeah.
Oh, if you draw it this way, then you will be able to showcase, you'll be able to demonstrate and show the different elevation of that
Mm.
object. So that
Yeah.
that requires training. So that's like conscious competency lah, where you
Mm-hmm.
actually
Mm-hmm.
learn, involve that learning process,
Right.
right? Yeah. So conscious competency will require the learning. The individual understand or knows how to do something. Okay, but however, demonstrating that skill or that knowledge requires concentration. Okay, because
Mm.
every time I try to draw a 3D cube, right, I need to be very I need concentration. And I need to know, okay, first I need to draw this line first, or it needs to be broken down into steps. So there's a lot
Mm.
of conscious involvement, effort, and focus.
Okay. Well, I mean,
That's conscious comfort. Mm,
compared to you, I mean, like talking about drawing three-dimensional stuff. I mean, I went through some training on
mm.
this thing called AutoCAD. It's actually a program for drawing.
Yes.
I can tell you that I am really bad at it. And would you call that unconscious incompetence?
Unconscious incompetence, right? We do not even understand or know how to do anything or that thing, and does not necessarily recognize that we are not able to do that. Yeah, until we attempt to try and do that.
Mm.
Yeah, same thing. I didn't know that I do not know how to draw a 3D cube
Mhm.
until I attempted drawing one.
Yeah. So it's another words. It's like you don't know what you don't know, right?
You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
It's like ignorance lah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then we can move towards the awareness level,
Mhm.
where that's where we talk. It's a conscious incompetency. That means we
Ah.
know, we
Mhm.
begin to gain the awareness that, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do this. Okay, I didn't know
Yeah.
that in order to draw this 3D cube, I need to draw it this way. So now I
Mm.
know that I don't know. I know.
Mm.
I begin to gain the awareness about what I don't know. That's the next stage.
So that's stage
Mm.
2, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the stage 3 would be the learning stage. That's where you
Mm.
are conscious of your competency. Now you are trained, right? Now you are
Mm.
being taught how to do it, but it
Yeah.
requires effort to do it. To
Mhm.
do it, like I said, I need to like make sure that I need a lot of focus and concentration in order to draw a proper cube. So there's a conscious competency stage where
Mm.
you learn the techniques or the skill sets to do that, right? Like what you said, to learn the AutoCAD um,
Yeah.
the software, right? So that's the learning stage. And of course,
Mm.
the final stage would be you close one eye also, you can just tap tap tap, just get it done within seconds. Some people will take, for those who are conscious in the conscious competency stage,
Yeah.
with the learning stage, right?
Mhm.
Maybe it will require them half an hour to get a drawing out. But those who are in the unconscious competency can just get it done within minutes, just maybe 5 minutes. So that
Mm.
that is you see the difference in the time taken to accomplish a same task.
Mm.
Yeah. So that is one example.
Mhm.
I think bring it closer to home, bring it closer to what we are doing.
Yeah.
Right. In for you, I think in the area of confidence building, where you do, I know
Mm.
you do makeup and you do dressing, the mix
Yes.
and match and the posing. You know, tell me about your process of your awareness and your consciousness about this
Mm.
competency.
Well, I would say, when I was younger, I just find that now thinking back, I find that I have this kind of like inborn capability being able to recognize what color goes with what so that they don't clash and they look kind of good together. Yeah.
Mm,
So that would be some kind of like this, would you actually call that unconscious competency?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
That
would
would be
I would
some
I
kind
would
of
put that
like,
under unconscious
yeah.
competency.
The thing
Yeah.
is, like, it never really occurred to me until when I went to my course and get myself certified as an
Mm,
image coach. Then I realized that there's actually a science behind it. Yeah.
mm,
So, that's where as I mentioned, earlier, right? You don't know what you don't know. So I was actually
mm,
ignorantly blissful in a sense that I can think I can put these pieces of colors together and then make out quite a good outfit. But I didn't know I
mm,
had that ability until I was given that awareness. Yeah, when I started
mm,
learning. So it's like, in a way, it's like the whole sequence, for the for
mm,
from being unconsciously incompetent all the way to being consciously competent, unconscious competence, right? The whole journey,
mm,
there was the whole process is a little bit jumbled up, but then having that
mm,
awareness, realize that I can actually continue to build on it. Yeah.
mm,
So then, I became more consciously competent along the way to be able to
mhm,
bring that innate ability out. Yeah.
mm,
Then as for makeup, I guess it's a lot about, being in a space. And I used to watch my aunt getting ready to
mhm,
go to work in the morning. I'll watch how she consciously, put on her makeup. And that
mm,
was actually where I developed the interest, but I didn't know how to do it. I have the
mm,
exposure, but I didn't know how to do it myself. And then that one is I consciously, I intentionally went to seek and get trained specifically in order to
mm,
do so. So
right.
the whole process, yeah, I went through the standard, being unconsciously incompetent all the way to unconsciously competent. Yeah.
Mm, wow. Yeah, I think that brings me back to my memory about storytelling, about
Mm-hmm.
public speaking. I remember when I was very young, I think as young as preschool days,
Wow.
um, you know that I love stories, right? I love
Mm-hmm.
to, be immersed in the world of stories. And so, on the hindsight, reflecting on this, I realized that I had the unconscious competency of storytelling in such a way that
Mm.
it would capture attention. So, I remember when I was in primary one, because of this scene, this scene that I will never forget, when I was
Yeah.
telling the stories, and the judges were my teachers, lah, right? And they were
Mm-hmm.
like so captivated by the story that I was telling. And I remember making a mistake when I forgot, certain parts, and they were like, "Ayah," But then when I got back on track, and they were like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, like all being so drawn into the story. So that image I will never forget. Somehow it just
Mm.
registered in my mind. But what I didn't realize
Mm.
was because nobody taught me to tell the story the way that I did, right?
Mm.
Nobody taught me that, I would create a setting.
Mhm.
Nobody taught me that I would involve senses and um, the five senses in narrating that story.
Mm.
So, I mean, no, nobody taught me that, and but of course, along the way, now that we are exposed to, like you said, all the trainings and the trainings, right?
Mm.
Um, we learn about how to deliver a speech or how to deliver your sharing in a very interesting and
Mm.
captivating way or an
Yeah.
impactful way. Yeah, and one of the
Mm.
way is through storytelling,
Yeah.
or rather story showing. You show and bring the audience into that story and feel what you're feeling. So yeah, so I would categorize that under unconscious competency.
Mm.
Yeah. So like yourself, it was only until um, I'm exposed to trainings upon public speaking that I realized
Mm.
that, hey, I was doing that all along, but I didn't know that, okay, this is called step one, you must do this, step two, you must
Mhm.
do that. Yeah. And of course, during our English literature or study in our English language, yeah,
Yeah.
writing compositions and all that, that's where the learning part comes in as well. Yeah.
Mm.
So that's one example I can relate more personally. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm, in the area of unconscious competency. But of course, for those who are not who wants to learn public speaking and not used to narrating the story in the way that I did, you know,
Mhm.
uh, that requires for them it will requires a conscious effort.
Mm.
Mm. Just through the coaching, of the ladies that I coach to share the stories of courage, right? This
Yeah.
is one of this is one area I observe.
Mm.
Many tell the story,
Mm.
but they don't show the story and they don't bring you into that sensation of that whole story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. So
True,
that's
true,
that's
true.
something very interesting. Yeah. That so I think the whole point of us talking about this is
Mhm.
that you want to be aware, right? Which stage of this competency of your skill set are you in?
Mm.
So that
Correct.
you can map out, so that you can grow and master whatever skill set you have and improve your competency all the way to unconscious competency. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm,
And it is also very important because by being aware of what you're competent or, I would say unconscious competency, right? For some of the
mm,
skill sets that you have this innate ability and you can
mm,
actually, in fact, transform that, which is a kind of a competence, a skill set, a passion
mm.
into a profitable business.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And bringing it even, connecting it even closer to
Mm.
like what you said, our vocation and or what we are
Yeah.
called to do. In the area of coaching,
Mhm.
so of course there's a lot of things that we learn, when we go for trainings and all that.
Yeah.
But also be aware that what are the unconscious competency that you have also,
Mhm.
or
Yes.
incompetency. The
Yeah.
incompetency part you want to build on, you want to learn, you want to humble yourself and be open with an open mind and learn as much as you can.
Mm.
But if you realize that you have the unconscious competency, for example, um, active listening.
Mm.
Some of us are just naturally, like you use the word, like this innate ability to, or intention or tendency to be actively listening.
Mm.
I think that active listening is a very important uh, characteristics or
Yeah.
ingredient in coaching, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So and that is an advantage if you are into the world of coaching, because if
Mm.
you don't listen,
Yes.
I think that defeats the whole purpose of the coaching, right? First step first, you must listen, and not just
Yeah.
listen, but you need to listen actively and hearing what's the underlying issue of the
Yes.
person sharing, that they're sharing whatever emotions or thoughts with you,
That's
right?
right. And also listening out, for the um what's in between the lines. And it's also very
That's
important
right.
skill set, in fact, right? It's a competency, but as well as also a skill set for leadership as
Yep.
well. Hmm.
Mm, yeah. So when it comes to um, competency and skill set, the journey is it's all about a learning journey here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for to bring it closer to female entrepreneurs,
Hmm.
take a look at your business operation.
Yeah.
There's so many skill sets required, right? Of
Hmm.
course, um, you will come to a stage where you want to outsource certain skill sets so that you can be more
Hmm.
efficient and productive, right? And you want
Yeah.
that, therefore, recognizing which are your areas of competency, whether
Mm.
is it unconscious or conscious, is important. That's why we are talking about this topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some of us may be very good with public relations,
Hmm.
right? Or marketing, right?
Yes.
Or accountancy, finance and
Hmm.
accountancy, which is not my area of strength. But again, you see, so when I am aware that
Yeah.
you know, I requires for this area, I requires conscious competency, because
Mm.
when it comes
Mm.
to doing my accounts and finance, right, I
Yeah.
need a lot of concentration. Yeah.
Mm.
So so you want to, as an entrepreneur, running your business, you want to be aware.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
yes. Yeah. So Carol, what are some
Mm.
of the examples that you can think of in your your area of
Mm.
work, your scope of work,
Yeah.
that requires that recognizing the different competencies in your scope of work that will
Mm.
help you to be more productive?
Oh, well, okay. For me, first off, it's you know, definitely listening skills,
Mm,
and also, empathy is actually very, very important. Being able to feel what the other person is feeling, whether if it's, from coaching, or is it from a leader perspective. I mean, it's like, being a leader also means that being a mom, right? You're the mom is actually the leader of the household. And I,
mm-hmm,
I learned that through interacting with my children. And
mm-hmm,
yeah, that I think is a very essential skill set and capability, to
mm,
really continue and to grow. Yeah,
mm,
so these are the top two. Yeah.
mm.
Mm. And another
Right.
one would be, I think the third one would be communication. Yeah,
Communications. Yes.
communication is very, very important, because it's like, speaking is one thing, but
Mm,
being able to communicate your thought, as you mentioned, the public speaking, that really, really I find a lot of resonance in that, in terms
mm,
of, instead of just saying the words, right? Saying the words not communicating, but mostly
mm,
it's about bringing the story and also the
mm.
emotion across. I think that is effective communication skill set. Yeah.
Yeah. And oftentimes it is not what you say,
Mm-hmm.
it's how you say it also, right?
Yes. And also choosing the
Yeah.
right words is very, very important. Yeah, the tonal, yeah.
Yeah. And not only that, and knowing when to say it is not
Mm.
just what you say, how you say, when you
When you
say.
say it. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, there are people who fall into the quadrant of unconscious incompetency. They're always saying the wrong thing at the wrong time, or the right thing at the wrong time. Yeah, with the wrong tone, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then growing into the awareness level,
Mhm.
where you are consciously making the effort, because now you have gained the awareness that you
Mm.
are may not be efficient in this area, right?
Yeah.
So you are learning, and that requires a conscious effort, right? To
Mm.
know what to say, when to say, how to say, right? And with practice over time,
Mhm.
keep doing it. Don't get discouraged, if you step out and practice this communication skill set, and you get a lot of road bumps
Mm. Mm.
or or discouragement. Don't get discouraged. Keep on
Yeah.
practicing it, especially those who are doing sales, right?
Mm.
Because as an entrepreneurs, we need to be doing sales, right?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
again, sales is not an unhealthy word. If
No.
you right now are having a very negative feeling surfacing up about, sales, then that's something to address as well, right? So that,
Mm.
of course, will lead to another time to
Yes,
discuss about
exactly.
that.
Another topic,
Yeah,
another day.
yeah. But here right now, skills also, there are skill sets.
Mm.
Sales, in terms of doing sales, there are also skill sets,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, different components of the business requires different skill sets and competency, and
Mm.
therefore we want to be very much aware, so that we know which area we can strengthen it, and which area we really shouldn't, we
Yeah.
really need to outsource, right?
Mm.
Yeah, so that we can do what is what we do best. We do what we do best, right?
Mm. Yes.
Yeah. So, any thoughts about that?
Well,
And,
for me, it's like, I'm having this conversation with you. It just brought out a lot of like, prompters in my mind because there's a
mm,
lot of association, typically, right, in the past for me. Competency for me is equivalent to skill set. If I have
mm,
this skill, means I'm competent, right? So there's
mm,
always this, and having that differentiation today is actually very, very important for those who are watching us and those who listen to our podcast,
mm,
understanding the competencies and also the skill set. Yes, they do come hand in hand together, but having that
mm,
competence must not necessarily say that you have that, good skill set in order to do what you're supposed to do. And having that skill set, not knowing how to utilize it, which is competencies, then you will not
mm,
actually achieve the best result for yourself. Yeah. So this
yeah,
is my takeaway from this conversation.
yeah, yeah. I think the correlation between these two is very,
Yeah.
very closely knitted, right?
Mm,
Yeah, I really love what you mentioned and brought out and highlighted that, each skill sets and competencies does
yeah.
affect each other, yeah, in your overall performance, right?
Yes.
So yeah, I think that's a. I hope what we have shared has add value to you, so to our audience out there. Hopefully, you made a note, and to recap, which are the stages. So be aware which stage you are in. Okay, number one is the
Yeah.
unconscious incompetency, right? So
Mhm.
that is where you are unaware of
Yeah.
the skills and the lack of the proficiency. All
Mm.
right. And then there's the next stage where you are conscious of your
Mhm.
incompetency, right?
Yeah.
And you are aware that you are aware of the skills, but you're not yet proficient with it.
Mhm.
Okay. And then you move to the next stage, which is the conscious competency, right?
Yeah.
Now you are able to use the skill,
Mhm.
but only with effort because you're still learning, right? And
Mm.
mastering, learning in the process of learning it. And finally, we want to achieve is the unconscious competency, which you are
Mm.
performing the skills uh, automatically with such so naturally and so efficiently. So that is the
Yes.
ultimate stage that we hope to achieve in this growth in the area of competency and skill set. Yeah.
Yes, yes, indeed. And if I may also just add value to this as well, it's like today's conversation for this particular episode. It is just to give you an understanding and also an awareness. It's just to leave that door open a little bit for you to further explore, because we can't go deep to it in a short lunchtime chat. 30 minutes or 45 minutes kind of a time frame is impossible to do
Yeah.
so. But in order for you to, once you have this awareness, I really like to encourage you to join us at our Transform with Courage Bootcamp. This is actually where we delve a little bit deeper, for you to understand and how you can actually go from, yeah, as what Lilian has mentioned, being unconsciously incompetent all the way and then towards the mastery. So this is just opening a door for you at the moment for you to do so, for
Mm,
yourself, but also as well for those who are female entrepreneurs like ourselves. This is also an opportunity for you to look at and take a step back and then and observe, okay, what are the things that that you're doing, because being in a female entrepreneurs, especially solopreneurs in particular, you have to put on so many different hats, you have to take on so many different roles, right? So how do you manage that, and then understand and also come to terms and be okay with with yourself that there are certain things that you do not know, and it's okay to delegate or find an
mm,
alternative for help. And help, in fact, will come in form of an employee, a team, or you can actually external help, which is also the reason why we created this female entrepreneur network, her Courage Business Network. That is the aim,
mm,
to help you to actually fill the gaps of your various competencies level and also skill set, so that you can have a power team like what we have right now, to continue to move towards in the direction that you want to move in your business and what you want to achieve in life.
yeah. I think what we can contribute here is very
Mhm.
limited, like over the lunchtime. So do check out the website. And like just now, Carol mentioned the boot camp, Transform with Courage
Yes.
Bootcamp. Yeah, just go to plusliving.com.sg, right, slash TWCB, in short, Transform with Courage Bootcamp 2022, because that's happening
Mhm.
in April 2022, right?
Yes.
And of course, Her Courage Biz Network,
Mhm.
www.her, H-E-R, Courage, C-O-U-R-A-G-E, Biz, B-I-Z, and network, network.com.
Yes,
Okay, so
exactly. So
we look forward to seeing you on the 7th of December, right? 7th of
yeah,
December
7th
is
December,
our
which is
next
yeah,
meeting.
today, this particular episode, is happening this evening. We have Karen, Lillian has mentioned earlier in the beginning of the episode, that she is very, very unconsciously competent already, mastering, talking about branding, design, how you can bring your business forward. So for those who actually call us today on the 7th of December, you can still register for your seat and exclusive VIP pass for our
Mm,
Her Courage Biz Network meeting
yes,
tonight.
yeah, right. So we look forward to seeing you tonight at the Business Network. All right.
Yes.
So I think that's all for this episode,
Yes.
and we look forward to see you again. I think this is our second last
Yeah.
episode for this series, right? So next week
Yes.
we will be talking about clarity and goals, right?
Yeah. This
Clarity
is
and goals.
actually, yes, clarity and goals, for you to end the year for the month of December, and then you think about how you want to start the year right in year 2022.
Yes, right. So I'm Lilian signing off. I see you next week.
Yeah, I'm Carol here signing off all the way from Germany. See you next week.
Bye.